Ready to see the future through the lens of the past? Welcome to Endtime Prophecy Stories. Here we dive deep into ancient mysteries and uncover what lies ahead in a world filled with uncertainty. But we can't do it without you. If you want to stay prepared and never miss a revelation, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. And if you find value in these stories, give this video a like. It helps us reach more truth seekers just like you. Now let's open the seal on today's story. The Final Call, Chapter 1. The Image and the Plane. The neon glow of Sector 4 reflected off the low-hanging clouds, a synthetic aurora borealis created by the immense energy output of the city. Under the firmament, the world had changed. The 10 regions, once disparate nations, now hummed in terrifying unison under the administration of Perthelite Industries and the spiritual oversight of the Papacy. Jace crouched on the rooftop of a dilapidated tenement building, his eyes scanning the street below. Beside him, Amara adjusted the frequency on a handheld shortwave radio. The air was thick, not just with the humidity of the region, but with the spiritual weight of the 42 months. "They're moving the drones again," Jace whispered, pointing toward the plaza. Below them, a holographic projection, the image, towered over the intersection. It was a shimmering digital construct representing the beast, a fusion of political power and religious authority. It didn't just stand there, it watched. AGI algorithms processed the gait, facial expressions, and biometric data of every passerby. "Bowing is mandatory," the speakers blared, the voice calm yet pierced with metallic finality. "Solidarity with the system is solidarity with the light bearer. Bow and receive the blessing." A woman in a gray tunic walked past the hologram. A drone, hovering silently on density manipulation drives, descended to eye level. The woman hesitated. She didn't bow. "Citizen," the drone intoned. "Demonstrate compliance." Jace gripped the edge of the roof. "Don't stop," he muttered to the woman, though she couldn't hear him. "Just run." She didn't run. She stood tall, clutching a tattered bag. "I worship the God of heaven," she said, her voice trembling but audible. "I will not bow to the work of hands." The drone didn't argue. A flash of light, efficient and cruel, silenced her. She fell. The crowd around her didn't scream. They had been conditioned by months of this. They simply bowed lower, terrified of the metal eyes watching them. Amara lowered the radio, tears stinging her eyes. "Another one." "Jace, we have to get the message out faster. The timeline is collapsing." "I know," Jace said, pulling back from the ledge. "Caleb and Terrell are setting up the transmitters in Sector 7 tonight. We have to warn them. It's not just bowing anymore. The intel Elena found, it's worse." Chapter 2. The Abomination of Desolation. The safe house was deep underground, shielded from the grid by layers of lead and old-world concrete. It smelled of ozone and stale coffee. Elena sat at a terminal, her fingers flying across a haptic keyboard. Thomas stood behind her, his large frame acting as a silent sentry, though the door was bolted. "The code is rewriting itself," Elena said, her face pale in the blue light of the monitor. "The Perthelite AGI isn't just managing the grid anymore, it's merging with the banking architecture." "I thought they already controlled buying and selling," Thomas said, his voice deep and rumbling. "They control the permission," Elena corrected. "But this is biometric fusion. Look," she pulled up a schematic. It showed a lattice of nanotechnology designed to interface with the human nervous system, specifically the right hand. It would go on the forehead if they didn't have a natural right hand. "The scanner," Elena whispered. "It's not just a tracker, it's a receiver. It updates the human biology to sync with the central AGI processor. It removes the capacity for individual conscience, replacing it with the collective will of the beast." Caleb entered the room, dusting off his jacket. He looked tired. The transmitters are live. The third angel's message is hitting the airwaves in Region 3 and 8. We're telling them, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God. It's going to get harder to hear, Elena said, turning to face them. I found a memo from the High Pontiff's office. They are declaring a solemn assembly, a worldwide worship service. Jace and Amara came down the stairs, catching the tail end of the conversation. When? Jace asked. Easter Sunday, Elena said. In exactly 30 days. They are calling it the inauguration of the new order. The memo says that on that day, the scanning technology will be mandatory. No scan, no access to the city gates, no food, no water, no home. The mark, Amara breathed. The final enforcement. Chapter 3. The pressure of the plane. The next week was a blur of high-stakes guerrilla evangelism. The world was a flat circle of enclosing darkness, and the team was a flicker of light trying to start a fire. Terrell led a team in the industrial district. His job was dangerous. Physical distribution of printed tracks. Digital information could be scrubbed, but paper was stubborn. He stood in the shadow of a massive protein synthesis factory. Workers streamed out, their eyes dull, their shoulders slumped. There is a way out, Terrell called out, keeping his voice low but intense. He handed a pamphlet to a young man. Read this, the update they want to give you. It separates you from the Creator. The earth is not what they say. You are under a dome, protected by God, not lost in an infinite vacuum. They lie about where you are to lie about who you are. The young man looked at the paper. It contained verses from Revelation 14 and Matthew 24. They say the scan is for security, the worker whispered, to stop the terrorists. We aren't terrorists, Terrell said gently. We are the remnant. We keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus. Don't take the scanner. If you take it, you can never go back. A siren wailed in the distance. Drones were inbound. Run, the worker said, pocketing the paper. Go. Terrell melted into the alleyways. He knew some of his team hadn't been so lucky in other sectors. Reports were coming in of tribunals, hastily convened courts where believers were mocked, tortured, and executed for crimes against human unity. The blood of the martyrs was watering the seed of the gospel, but the harvest time was running out. Chapter 4. The Decree. 15 days remained until Easter Sunday. The tension in the air was palpable, a static charge building before a lightning strike. The screens in every city square, in every home, and on every handheld device broadcast the face of the false prophet, the CEO of Perthelite Industries. He wore a suit that shimmered like white silk, but his eyes were cold, calculating computations of AGI efficiency. Citizens of the globe, the false prophet announced, his voice smooth. The era of division is over. For too long, religious extremism has held back our evolution. The light bearer desires unity. The Vicar of Christ has decreed that on the upcoming Resurrection Sunday, we will all undergo the sacrament of unity. The screen shifted to show the new scanning devices, sleek silver arches installed at every grocery store, transit station, and housing block. This scanner, the prophet continued, is your pass to the future. It is a simple update, a mark of loyalty. Without it, you are a rogue element. You will not buy, you will not sell, you will not exist in our system. In the safe house, Jace watched the broadcast with a grim expression. They are weaponizing sustenance, he said, connecting worship with bread. It's the abomination of desolation, Thomas rumbled, reading from his worn Bible. Standing where it ought not, they are forcing the conscience. We have to make a choice, Jace said, looking at the team. We have 2 weeks. We can hide, or we can do one last push, a final clarion call. We have to tell them that even if they bowed to the image, they can still repent and refuse the mark. Once they take the mark and put their trust in man over the Creator, it's over. We go, Elena said firmly. I can rig the city's emergency alert system. I can override their feed for 3 minutes, but I have to do it from inside the main server hub in Sector 1. That's suicide, Caleb said. It's necessary, Elena replied. People are dying for lack of knowledge. Chapter 5. The Spirits of Devils. The spiritual warfare described in Ephesians 6 was no longer a metaphor. It was a tangible pressure in the atmosphere. The aliens that the world government claimed were visiting were, in truth, demonic entities manifesting to deceive the masses. The government used the density-defying UFO technology to enforce the narrative that humanity needed to unite against an off-world threat. Amara and Jace sat on the floor of the safe house, checking their supplies of natural remedies. They had bags of charcoal, herbs, and clean water filters, kits for those who would flee. Do you feel it? Amara asked, rubbing her temples. The oppression, it's like the air is heavy. It's the spirits of devils working miracles, Jace said, quoting Revelation. Gathering the kings of the earth, they are tightening the net. Thomas is worried about Elena, Amara noted softly. He watches her like a hawk. Jace nodded. He knows what we're walking into. Sector 1 is the belly of the beast. The Jesuits have their headquarters there. If we pull this off, Amara said, thousands might flee the cities. Matthew 24 says, flee to the mountains. We have to show them where to go. We will, Jace promised. We plant the seeds. God gives the increase. Chapter 6. The Loud Cry. 7 days left. The plan was set. Terrell and Caleb would create a diversion in the lower districts, drawing the drone swarms away. Jace, Thomas, and Elena would infiltrate the Sector 1 server hub. Amara would coordinate the extraction vehicles, old, non-digital trucks that couldn't be overridden by the AGI. The operation began at midnight. The city was never dark, bathed in the artificial light of the beast system. Terrell set off a series of EMP bursts in the industrial zone. The lights flickered and died in Sector 9. Sirens screamed. Diversion active, Terrell radioed. Move. Jace, Thomas, and Elena moved through the maintenance tunnels of Sector 1. The walls hummed with the power of the server banks. This way, Elena whispered, checking her handheld. The main trunk is behind the cathedral. They emerged into a service alley behind the massive Cathedral of Unity. Above them, the spire pierced the sky, a monument to the Papacy's dominance. They reached the server access door. Elena bypassed the lock with a custom algorithm. They slipped inside. The room was a forest of blinking lights and cooling fans. I need 3 minutes, Elena said, plugging into the terminal. Thomas stood by the door, a large wrench in his hand. He refused to carry a gun. Their warfare was not carnal. Elena typed furiously. Uploading the payload. The 3 angels' messages. Text, audio, video. Every screen in the city is about to get a wake-up call. Chapter 7. The Override. In homes across the 10 regions, the nightly news feed glitch. The face of the false prophet distorted and vanished. In its place, a simple black screen appeared with white text, "Worship him who made heaven and earth." A voice, recorded by Jace, boomed from the speakers. Babylon is fallen. Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. Do not take the mark, do not take the scanner. Your bread and water will be sure if you trust in the Creator. Flee the cities. For 3 minutes the truth rang out. Images of the flat earth, the firmament, and the true timeline of history flashed across the screens, shattering the lies of the globe and the aliens. In the server room, alarms blared. They're trying to lock me out, Elena said, sweat beading on her forehead. Just 10 more seconds. "We have company," Thomas growled. The door burst open. Perthelite guards, clad in black armor, stormed in. "Freeze!" Jace threw a smoke canister, homemade dense smoke. "Elena, go!" They scrambled out a side exit as laser fire singed the air. The message had been sent. The city was in chaos. People were waking up. Chapter 8. The Net Titans. 3 days to Easter. The fallout from the broadcast was immense. Thousands were packing bags and fleeing toward the wilderness boundaries. The highways were clogged. The system responded with brutality. Checkpoints were closed. Drones began targeting vehicles that didn't broadcast a valid ID signal. The team was hiding in a sub-basement in Sector 3, trying to regroup for the final escape. "We can't go back to the main safe house," Caleb reported, joining them. "It's burned. They found it." "We have to leave the city," Jace said. "For good. We have to get to the mountains before Sunday. Once the ceremony starts, the perimeter grid goes to full lethal." "We have one problem," Elena said, her voice shaking. "During the hack, I think the AGI tagged my biometric signature. Not my face, but my typing cadence, my digital footprint. If I pass through any major sensor, it will trigger a lockdown." Thomas looked at her. "Then we don't go through the sensors. We go through the old sewers." "The sewers are flooded," Terrell said, "and they have motion detectors." "We have to try," Amara said. "We can't leave anyone behind." Chapter 9. The Sacrifice. 1 day before Easter. The city was preparing for the inauguration. Banners of the Papacy hung from every building. The atmosphere was suffocating. The team moved through the sewer tunnels, wading through waist-deep water. They were miles from the city limits, but the sensor grid was dense here. They reached a junction. A massive grate blocked the way. Beyond it lay the drainage outflow that led to the river and freedom. "It's magnetically locked," Elena said, examining the control panel. "I have to hack it to open it, but if I jack in, the system will know I'm here. It will send everything it has." "Do it," Jace said. "We'll cover you." Elena connected her device. The gears groaned. The grate began to lift. "Beep. Alert. High-value target detected," a mechanical voice echoed in the tunnel. Red lights flooded the chamber. From the tunnel behind them, the sound of mechanical spider drones skittering on the concrete grew louder. "Go! Under the grate!" Jace shouted. Amara, Terrell, and Caleb slid under. Jace waved Elena through. "Come on, Thomas!" Elena screamed. Thomas stood by the control panel. He looked at the grate. It was starting to close again. The system was overriding Elena's hack. "It won't stay open," Thomas said calmly. He looked at the approaching drones, their red eyes glowing in the dark. Then he looked at Elena. "Thomas, no!" Thomas jammed the large wrench into the gears of the closing grate, then shoved his own shoulder under the heavy iron spikes. He groaned, the weight of the beast system literally pressing down on him. "Go!" Thomas roared, his voice echoing like thunder. "Run! I'll hold it!" The drones were upon him. Lasers cut into his flesh. He didn't flinch. He held the gate open with the strength of a man who knew his savior. "Elena, move." Jace grabbed her and pulled her through the gap beneath Thomas's straining body. As they splashed into the outflow on the other side, Elena looked back. Thomas was smiling. He looked straight at the drones, whispered a prayer, and then the mechanism snapped. The grate slammed down, separating the team from the martyr. A muffled explosion echoed from behind the wall. Thomas had pulled the pin on their last EMP charge, taking the drones out with him. Chapter 10. The Wilderness Sunday Morning. The sun rose over the mountains, casting a golden light on the peaks. The air was crisp and clean, far removed from the recycled atmosphere of the city. Jace, Amara, Terrell, Elena, and Caleb stood on a ridge overlooking the valley. Far in the distance, A dome of smog covered the city. They could faintly hear the bells tolling, the beginning of the inauguration ceremony. The mark was being enforced. The door to the city was closed. Elena wept silently, her hand resting on the rough bark of a pine tree. "He gave his life so we could finish the race," Jace said softly. "Greater love hath no man than this." "We are out," Caleb said, his voice hollow but resolved. "We made it." "The 42 months are ending," Amara said, looking at the sky. "Now begins the time of trouble such as never was, but we are not alone." They turned away from the city of destruction. Before them lay the wilderness, where God had prepared a place for them. They had natural remedies to gather, springs of water to find, and other refugees to help. "We don't go back," Jace said, setting his pack on his shoulders. "We wait here for the king." They walked into the forest, disappearing into the safety of the Creator's hand, leaving the beast to its short, doomed reign. The patience of the saints had been tested, and they had endured. The end of Story 6.
For more Bible-based end-time prophecy dramas to strengthen your faith and the faith of others, help spread the word by supporting the channel. Please like, subscribe, and share.